Social Security. Is it in fiscal trouble because it's been looted by politicians? Or does it suffer from structural flaws? Let's look at just facts. Polls of American voters show that regardless of party, more than 3/4 of them believe that Social Security's financial problems stem from politicians looting the program and spending the money on other programs. However, the concrete facts reveal a much different story. The original Social Security Act of 1935 makes clear that what many people mistakenly call looting is actually an integral part of the program. The law requires that all Social Security income not immediately paid out in benefits be loaned to the federal government, which then pays it back with interest. There's a common myth that Democratic President Lyndon B. Johnson began using Social Security to finance other government programs in the 1960s. But as the Social Security Historian's Office documents, the financing procedures involving the Social Security program have not changed in any fundamental way since they were established in the original Social Security Act of 1935 and amended in 1939. In fact, rather than taking money from Social Security, politicians have been adding money to it by repeatedly increasing Social Security payroll tax rates and taxable maximums. Social Security's payroll tax rate has risen 6.2 times since the outset of the program. Furthermore, adjusted for inflation, Social Security's taxable maximum has risen 2.5 times since the program began. Plus, the government has also added a tax on the Social Security benefits of those who make more than $25,000 per year. This money is then funneled back into the Social Security program. Despite these massive funding boosts, the Social Security Trustees report states that under the trustees' intermediate assumptions, the program's total cost is projected to exceed its total income in 2018, and trust fund reserves will be depleted in 2034. Like in previous reports, the trustees warn that necessary changes to keep the program fully solvent should be enacted sooner rather than later, so that more generations share the burden of these changes and so they can be phased in gradually and give workers and beneficiaries time to adjust to them. Procrastination will only worsen these burdens, and much larger changes would be necessary if action is deferred. So, what's happening? The root of the problem is in Social Security's fundamental design. In 1960, 5.1 people worked and paid Social Security payroll taxes for every person who received benefits. This ratio has since declined to 2.8 to 1, and under the program's intermediate projections, this will drop to 2.1 to 1 over the next 20 years. Why has the ratio of taxpayers to beneficiaries dropped so drastically? There are three primary factors: large increases in life expectancy without comparable increases in retirement age, the higher birth rate of the baby boom generation compared to other generations, and the rising number of people receiving disability benefits. Why don't Americans understand this? Because they mistakenly believe Social Security is a savings program. They think that Social Security simply saves workers money and later returns it. Thus, they suppose that any shortage of funds must be the result of looting. However, Social Security is not structured as a savings plan, and it never has been. Instead, it mainly operates by taxing people who are currently working and giving this money to the aged and disabled. As the National Academy of Social Insurance explains, Social Security is largely a pay-as-you-go program. This means that today's workers pay Social Security taxes into the program, and money flows back out as monthly income to beneficiaries. Likewise, the Social Security Administration states, the money you pay in taxes is not held in a personal account for you to use when you get benefits. Your taxes are being used right now to pay people who now are getting benefits. Any unused money goes to the Social Security trust funds, not a personal account with your name on it. Merely 13% of Social Security's total income has accumulated in its trust fund during the program's entire existence. The SSA also says, since the Social Security system has not accumulated assets equal to the liability of promised future benefits, the Social Security wealth that individuals hold represents a claim against the earnings of future generations rather than a claim against existing real assets. How big is the claim? After the federal government pays back with interest all of the money it has borrowed from Social Security, the program's current burden on future generations of Americans is $30.8 trillion, an average of $132,914 for every person currently receiving Social Security benefits or paying Social Security payroll taxes. Under the prevalent notion that Social Security has been robbed, it seems like an answer to its financial problems is simply to return the money. But since it hasn't been robbed, the only way to add more money to the program is to add more taxes, a chronic cycle that has resulted in successive generations of Americans getting a progressively worse deal from Social Security. Many think a solution to this is just making higher income workers pay more taxes, but this has been done before. Adjusted for inflation, the maximum annual payroll tax per person is now 8.7 times higher than the federal government promised it would ever be when it enacted the program. And per a Congressional Budget Office report on Social Security, over their lifetimes, most high earners receive much less in benefits than they pay in taxes. Nonetheless, Social Security is headed towards insolvency, and public support for genuine reform is thwarted by falsehoods about looting and savings that make generations of Americans feel entitled to more and more of the next generation's earnings. You can help correct this problem born of misinformation by sharing this video. I'm Amanda Reed Sheik, here with Just Facts. For thorough documentation of every fact in this video and more facts about this issue, read the article, Social Security Has Been Boosted, Not Looted, at justfactsdaily.com.